Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It's myself and Johnny back with another evening brews on Tottenham on Tour. Quite a bit to talk about, and we will get started very, very shortly. But first of all, Johnny, my brother, how are you?
All good, all good, all quiet on the Western Front. No news other than the news that the newspapers want to make up as we go along.
Newspapers. How old are you now, Johnny?
It's newspapers. Sorry,
newspapers. You're going back into old school and showing your age.
Imagine that having a newspaper.
Oh, mate, I don't even know what that is. I don't think I've actually read a newspaper whilst I've been in Canada.
I've got to be honest with you. I think the only ones I've ever picked up are the freebies in a hotel.
There you go.
I picked one up.
There you go. So, right, before we get into all this, let's just say hello to people that are here. Adrian Strocker's the first one in the building. Good afternoon to you. Ring Kettic, good man, big to see you. Big man, good to see you, I meant. Tom Thacker, how we doing, buddy? Andrew Gregory, as always, in the building.
Hi, Andrew.
Twig, big up to you, sir. Who else? Ryan using a word that him and Craig love using. Can't stand the word. My man, Ray the Yid, is in the building. Ryan Isaacs told Arsenal sports directors admire Murillo, but Tottenham haven't done most of the legwork for the defender. 60 to 70 million not happening. Fran, good evening. I saw you were at a concert yesterday that I believe Ben from We Are Tottenham is going to today. Liam Gallagher, he loves him. Ben Daniel from We Are Tottenham TV will be here with me Thursday. Expect to see him and Simeon quite a bit over the summer on Tottenham on Tour. Spurs rule. I don't say that. I know Elise, but also I've heard Liverpool are in for him. Let's hope not. Shem, good morning to our evening, afternoon. Jesus Christ. Just hello, good day to you, shall I say. Rich, big up. My man Craig is here. Big up to you.
Bumba.
Testy is here. Brian Maguire is here. Ryan McFarlane is here. Aaron is here. Let's get into it. So, first topic, as it is in the title, Ndombele, and now the end is near. Now, before I come to Johnny, I will say I've taken Fabrizio Romano tweeted this and the world has gone mad. Tanguy Ndombele's contract set to be terminated. Tottenham and player side are ready for amicable agreement as his deal ends a year before expiring in 2025. Now, I admire Fabrizio Romano. I enjoy reading his stuff. I enjoy it. And we all know that everyone, and I do mean everyone, only knows when a transfer is complete. When you hear three words, here we go. But this tweet is just, it's tweets like this that is just pure engagement and winning clicks and earning money off of it and engagement. I'm going to put a tweet out just as relevant as that and say tomorrow is Wednesday and see if I get the same interaction. Johnny, it looks like it's done, but it's not complete yet, is it?
Is that here we go Wednesday? Here we go.
Yeah, Wednesday. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Here we go.
Can you whack that picture back up a minute?
Yeah, of course I can. Of course I can. 1 second. There it is.
Now, that has got to be the most flattering image I've seen of Ndombele in about the last 2.5 years. That was obviously pre-Doner Kebab. That was pre his Doner Kebab period. I reckon he could settle in Turkey, maybe take up a kebab stall. What I don't understand is, I posted the other day, I think on my feed or on my Insta, a highlight reel of his skills. I've never seen a guy with such unbelievable skills piss so much of it down the drain. I honestly, it's hard to believe, so much talent. But it just proves one thing, you can have the talent, but unless you have the application and the dedication, you can't be a footballer. There's footballers out there who don't have as much talent or anywhere near in the talent that he has, but they have application, dedication, and the will to succeed and fight. And there lies the difference, really. Such a shame. He's still only 27 years of age.
Yep.
Yeah, honestly. What I do remember, Brian, is during COVID, driving through Hadley Wood and seeing him out on that park there.
With
where I've been on the Hadley Green?
Yep.
Right, with Jose Mourinho putting him through his paces. And I thought it was the only one that saw it. And then I think the next day it was in the paper with those two breaking COVID rules. But he tried everything. Everybody's tried with him. But to no avail.
I have to say, I said yesterday he's the king of the one-liners when it comes to Tottenham on tour. Andy Lloyd is in the building, and his conspiracy theory holds a lot of weight. I have a theory that Gatir went into administration because they struggled to keep up with Ndombele's food orders. Listen, I will say, I said, along with someone who I'm not going to bring into a conversation, I have seen Tanguy Ndombele is probably one of the players I've seen do something with the football that I haven't seen since Gaza. This guy had every single ounce of potential. And there were times we saw it. His drop of the shoulder, his getting away from people, like literally 2 or 3 people around him. He just escapes and eludes them like they were nothing. But there's something. We saw it as well in the documentary, didn't we? When he went into a meeting with the person I don't like talking about and Jose, and I think it was his interpreter as well. The thing is, as well, what we got to remember as well is people were saying this should have been done longer. If you look at Ozil and Aubameyang, they were in the last year of their contracts, I believe, especially Ozil. I don't know if Uber was.
No, but they both were. There's a lot of money. And Lacazette.
So when you rip you're only going to rip contracts up when they're in the final year. You're not going to do it with a couple of years left. But I just keep wanting to see Spurs official tweet something of relevance, not people playing ping pong or someone has scored a goal on international duty. I want to see that Tanguy Ndombele has officially left this football club, and then it can be put to bed. I mean, I think it gets done in the next couple of days. What about you, Johnny, and everyone in the chat?
I listen. I'm not sure. I knew we were in trouble when I won't say who, but the flat he was renting when he was played for Spurs. I know someone who was in the same block. So when I used to go there, I used to see him getting in his car in his car park. He had this sort of black matte wrap on his car, and he would literally shuffle to his car. You know, like how an old man looks at the floor.
Yep.
Shuffles. That's how he used to walk. You know, 2 miles an hour, if that. It's a shame. I think it could be another week or so, Brian. I don't know. Know.
I think Craig, if Craig's doing the chat, he put in roughly how much this guy's taken in wages from us in the time.
£200,000 a week for 4 years. But don't forget, we can offset that losses against our profits. But also they have paid, some people are paying sort of probably 50 grand out of that 250.
Oh, of course. No, listen, when he's been on loan, people have been paying. But the fact that he went in, there you go, Craig's just put it in. He's almost earned £50 million.
Yeah.
Obviously taxes and blah, blah, blah. But to say he's earned that at Tottenham Hotspur just goes to show how bad some of our business has been and continues to be. And talking of that,
he didn't hit his targets. He didn't hit his targets. Thankfully, we didn't have to pay Leon hitting any of his bonus targets.
Oh, yeah, thank God for that. But now we are going to talk about something, and it goes on to this. Don Robbie put up a picture. Sean has tweeted this, and he's right. We're going to discuss this. Yeah, Levy never replaced any of them, and they were all star players. If we look at this, and I understand that, or I don't understand when people go, it's different this time, things will change, everything's different, this is the time. If we look at the money that we've recouped from there, and we're going to go down the list with this, Johnny, so I'm going to keep this up for a bit. The Gareth Bale money was spent horrifically. So,
we got Ericsson and Lamella, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, they're the only two. So they're the only two you can say. AVB said he only wanted Ericsson, but he wanted Moutinho, he wanted the Hulk, he wanted others as well. But you look at this, and there's a few things I'll say about this. Baldini was in charge, and AVB was told, we buy the players, you coach them. So you look at that there, and with that Gareth Bale money, and the one that takes a really, really hard rap from this, and I will die on this hill. Soldado wasn't a bad transfer for Spurs.
No goal.
When we signed him, when we signed Soldado, this is what happens with Tottenham Hotspur and with the way we do things. We bought him for 26 million, and we bought him. This guy scored over 20 goals, La Liga goals, 5 years in a row. And how did he do it? By playing with a two-man strike force. So he scored that because he had a partner alongside him, like a Crouch and Defoe, like a Sheringham and Klinsmann, like a Berbatov and Keane, like a Kane and Son. And he rocks into Tottenham Hotspur and says, right, now you play as a one. Now you play as a one and you make room for on-rushing midfielders. And don't get me wrong, you can offset it with saying if it didn't work out, maybe Harry Kane might not have broken through. So you got that to offset it. But you look at that transfer, I'll bring it off whilst we talk Bale and then I'll bring it back on. Ericsson, and you could probably say Lamella. That was it was a horrific use of the funds, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's the same, isn't it? You know, I love Coco because, you know, I think people don't realise how bad that injury was. It was almost a career-ending injury. They weren't sure he'd ever come back, but he played with passion and fight, and I love that in my players. I don't see that enough in the current squad. There's probably three or four players maybe that carry that same aggression. But yeah, only him and Lamella. We had no Goldado. We had him. Who else did we get in that window? I'm trying to think.
Etienne Capoue.
Oh yeah. Well, Etienne, you know, didn't uproot trees, but he wasn't a horrendous player.
This one I loved. I loved Nasser.
Nasser Chanley.
I loved Nasser. I loved Nasser. And then don't obviously forget the most important crown jewel of the lot, Vlad Clearishes. Don't remember that.
Vlad the Impaler.
Don't remember. I just want to say thank you, Stephen. That means so much to me, buddy. It really, really does. I really appreciate it. And Dan, this is our top man. Has got his own YouTube channel. Does a lot of good work. A wonderful family man. Has had to go through a hell of a lot with an unwell daughter, Aurora, who thankfully is doing much better. I have all the time in the world for this man. Everyone go and follow his Twitter as well. I think it's just Dan Gaze. This is a dynamite of a man, an absolute wonderful man, and good to see you and family are in the chat. But yeah, so getting back to that, so we can obviously say that was spent horrifically. Let's go on to the next one in that. Harry,
I think this money was spent worse. I've got to be honest with you, Brian.
Go on.
I actually think that when you look at the Bale money, you know, Coco was with us for quite a few years. Ericsson was with us for quite a few years. Apart from Vlad the Impaler, I don't think they were horrendous buys. You know, they didn't maybe, you know, take us to the promised land. But I look at, we got rid of Harry Kane for 90 million or 82 million, whatever it was. And we brought in Brendan Johnson. I mean, I'm not being, no disrespect to him, but is this the plan you've been waiting for? You know, you knew Harry was going. You knew roughly how much he was going for. And your plan was to spend the money on him. As no disrespect to him, he's not Harry Kane's replacement, is he? No. You look at it. So with that money, first of all, we certainly haven't replaced it with a striker, which is most needed. And we obviously know how desperately, and we look like God knows what we're doing with a striker right now. But if you went and spent that money on, you know, and offered 85 million for Osimhen or for we can think of a few strikers that we could have got last year. Yeah. For big money and used that money. I think the fans might have been saying, well, you know, it's not light for light, but, you know, one's 23, 24. Harry Kane's coming up 30. At least we'd have replaced him with a striker. We've replaced 30 goals with 5. There you go. So first of all, I'm just going to paste something in here. People were asking about Dan's channel. It's not talking Spurs. It's mainly for mental health and other things within his community. That is his channel. If people can go give him a
a follow and get him a few subscribers more, it'd be brilliant. Because
Apologies accepted, Colin.
Like I said, Dan and his family are wonderful, wonderful people, and everyone should support everyone. And Dan is definitely one of those that is well worth a follow. So yeah, Harry Kane was spent woefully, and now I'm actually going to say that I think the next one we're doing, Carl Walker, shows this football club for what it is. Because if you look at it, 50 million for a right back at that time, and I will say still to this day, and when we sold him, the best right back in the league. Probably, if you're going to have the debate for the best right back in Premier League history, it'd be between him and Neville. And that's not English style. I think.
We'll still say Walker due to the pace.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying those two will be like the debate. You could say the left. He gave us wonderful service. Had to go up, wanted to go back north to be closest to family and to win trophies. Understandable, but when you are trying to replace the best right back in the league by a country mile, you had Trippier, who we obviously treated very, very badly in his final season. We all know that. Should have had an operation, but wouldn't we? We kept asking him to pay through the pain barrier. And if you watch one of Gary Neville's overlaps, he's just done like the question round with and he said leaving Tottenham, he hated the way it was. He said there was something in the air, there was something going on. No one told him anything. So then we had him, but then we went and spent 24, I think it was, on Aurier. Then we went and spent 12 on Matt Doherty, so we're at 36. Then we went and spent 20, how much on Emerson?
24, I think, including adult.
So we're already getting close to 50. Then we went and spent on Jed Spence.
Hang on a second. Carl Walker wasn't around that. We didn't use the Carl Walker money to go and buy Emerson.
No, I'm saying I'm saying is to replace
the players.
We went through. What I'm saying is, you look at that.
Yeah.
At 50 million, you had when we got up to Emerson. You then had Spence.
No succession plan is what you're saying.
And then you finally get to Porro. So no, what I'm saying with our spending history, you look at it. You lose a right back, and that quality, you try and find someone at that level, which is going to be hard. But you try and spend a large chunk of it, or maybe put some more money towards it to get the right guy. This club, here you go, Fergus just put it, over 100 million has been spent
on right back
to replace the right backs that we got.
50.
So we literally, we gained 50 but lost 50 trying to replace him. So for me, out of all these players, when it comes to like why is it different, you can look at the money and where it's gone. Now I'm bringing it into positions. You look how long that took. So, I mean, what do you reckon when it comes to replacing the Carl Walker and the money that was spent? Let me just go through some of the comments.
No, it was shocking. I mean, look, we are very poor. We're just poor at it. You know, we aren't Brighton. Brighton have a succession plan. They only sell someone if they have a replacement set up to replace them. Look at all the players they sold to Chelsea. They had someone in the background. You don't sell unless you have someone standing by.
Let me just start.
We knew that Harry Kane was going. Therefore, we should have done something about it prior, in my opinion. But we didn't. Usual story.
Rinketic, that wouldn't surprise me if he went to PSG or wherever he goes. He turned out to be prime.
Is that Gio?
Bellet is a new club wherever he goes.
There's more chance of Gio going there.
So yeah. Well, I'm way far down on the comments. Right, next one. This one will be fun.
Dimitar Berbatov.
Let me get rid of the. It was Dimitar Berbatov. Sorry, let me get rid of the. The comment. So yeah, the next one on this list,
sponsored by lastminute.com,
is Dimitar Berbatov. And obviously this was done on the final day of the window when Robbie Keane had already left and we got Fraser Campbell out of it. And this was a big deal. Now, what I will say, with Dimitar more than any of them. This was before we became that was just at the Martin days when we were about.
Yeah, you can understand why he wanted to go.
Yeah, you could understand why I wanted to go. The money wasn't what it was for. I mean, could you imagine if we had Dimitar Berbatov in his pomp now, how much that man would be? But you look at it. So you look at it, and where the money was spent again, it's not the best, is it?
If you had those 5 players right now in our squad, we're challenging for the title.
In their pomp, without a doubt.
Yeah,
we're without a doubt.
I mean, Fraser Campbell. I mean, I felt sorry for him because he was on a hiding to nothing. We've just lost 2 of our. I mean, everyone loved Robbie. Everyone loved Dimitar. For me, he's one of the greats. You know, probably more skillful than Harry, without any doubt. I'm not disrespecting Harry, but you know the things that Dimitar could do with the ball are just unbelievable. To lose those 2 and get Fraser Campbell in was laughable. Really, you just knew the game was up as soon as the season had started. Really, so I would say that was the most disappointing of all of the swaps. I don't think there could be any worse.
Correct. And then the final one on the list was Luka Modric. Now, Luka Modric left, and again, it was a Harry Redknapp time. We were just on the rise, so I can't really argue that. But what I'm trying to get at with this is when we do get big money in, and right now, apparently, we're going to have big money, and we've got the advantages on PSR and FFP. When it comes to this now, there are people that will say it's different this year. It's different this year, and fair play if you want to believe that. Fair play if you're going to say that.
It's been different for a few years, hasn't it, Brian? Have we started buying some better players? Yes, since Paratici has come in, but Paratici has had his flops as well. He has had his flops now, but now the main part of this now is we are in a prime position above other teams. When it comes to the wages have been cleared. And looks like even more will be cleared with Tanguy Ndombele. Yeah.
So, like I said, this window, I'm not even targeting the amount of money we spend and the value. If I hear we couldn't agree wages, then
maybe we'll just get loans, Brian. We could end up just with loans and pay their wages, and the rest will go towards Daniel's bonus for 2025.
Exactly. That I mean, who knows where it will go? But that's the thing I was getting at. It's like, listen, I'm having an open mind. I think I know personally where this summer is going. I want to be proven wrong. If I'm proven wrong, I'll go on every channel, as I've always said, and say, do you know what? Well done. Carry on. Do this. Why has it not been done before? But I just don't see it at all. But we'll move on to the next subject. Just a little bit of fun with this one. Premier League fixture list is out a week today. A week today, Spurs will know where their campaign will begin, end, the middle, everything. I'm hoping this year, because I don't know how often do we get away both games. I mean, opening and closing. We get it so often. I would hope Arsenal had home and home this season. So hopefully that means we'll get home and home first and last. But who knows? I mean, Jonny,
I think it's fixed. I think it's fixed, right? I remember back in the day where if you started away, you finished at home, and if you started away, you finished. It would be the reverse.
Yeah.
Okay. That's how it always works. Okay. You got the games in between and all the rest of it, and cancelled, postponed fixtures, which were rearranged. But that in general is how it went. But when I saw the fixture list, it was almost as if they wanted Arsenal to win the title. Their games were spread out over a period of time, whereas we got away from home to start, away from home to finish, and let's be honest, an end of season from hell we got. I'd like to see our big games spread out, to be honest. We're obviously going to play big teams. You're always going to do that. But, I don't want to have a run of like 4 or 5 games. Southampton at home would be nice. But from a selfish point of view, I'm going to be in Bali in August, so I'm hoping for some rubbish away fixtures that I can't get to, that I wouldn't get to anyway for the beginning. But
you'll be a bit disappointed
nice
if
to
we
see
get.
them spread. Pardon?
You'll be a bit disappointed if we get an NLD in August. We used to get them during the Gaza days. There was
I would be devastated if next Tuesday? I'm trying to think. It's the 18th. When is it?
Yeah, next a week today. A week today.
If a week today we draw Arsenal before the end of August, I will be extremely upset.
Do you know what? I think there's a couple of things I can guarantee that always seem to happen with us. Guaranteed to be playing Southampton away on Boxing Day. Guaranteed.
Right on Christmas Day.
And Liverpool away in April or May. Those two fixtures always seem to say first. But what I want to know from people in the chat, and there's 255 of you in here, so thanks again for your great support of Evening Brews. Who would you want first game of the season? Seriously, and do you prefer? Would you like to get the hard games out of the way as soon as possible? Before you want them spread out, or would you like a cluster? Back to back.
Listen, like if we started well last season, but he's going to have a whole load of new players that got to get used to his system, right? Remember?
Yeah.
Time to get used to Angie's system. So, I think I'd just like them spread out. We had a real pile of fixtures right on top of each other, a really hard run whenever you fix that into a season. So I'd like to start with Southampton at home. Would be lovely.
You reckon that? See, I don't know why. I've got a feeling we're going to get one of the promoted teams, not Southampton. So it's Ipswich, or who's the other team that I can't remember?
I'm happy with Ipswich. Yeah,
I think we're going to get one of those. But going back to games of the season, would you rather are you one like Craig's just said? He's not bothered. Everyone has to play everyone twice. The reason I kind of want to play some of the big teams early is before they find their rhythm.
What about us? Listen, don't be fooled.
Mate, look at the first 10 games last season.
Oh, no, don't be fooled, Brian. That's an anomaly, right?
It could be, mate. Listen, look at Man City. Whenever we played Man City early, we beat them. We'd never played Man City this late. Obviously, we're not going to go into what we thought of the result or who we wanted to win. But I think there's something in it. Man, I'd rather get one Man City game out of the way early, like when we played them before early, and I think there is something in it, personally, that before these players find their absolute rhythm, get to proper peak. Not saying it makes a huge impact across how the table finishes, but I wouldn't mind by the end of September, October, us are playing at least 4 of the big 6.
Listen, I do not want to see us start away from home and finish away from home again. I'm fed up with it, right? Let's just hope for a home fixture. I'm quite happy to be away from home and then finish at home at the end of the season, but I don't want a massive.
Oh, sorry, I completely forgot. I forgot the other team. Wayne, 1,000 apologies, my friend. One of my closest friends, and I forgot his team. My bad. It could be Leicester.
Could be Harry Potter's Leicester, couldn't it?
It could be Leicester. I just hope it's not Leicester away. Apart from Bergwijn and the 2 goals, that was the best night of my life in the Spurs away day.
How many games will we have before the 30th? 3 games, isn't it? I'm going to miss 3 games. I would think so. I don't come back to the 30th.
I would think so, but we'll have to wait and see. So we're going to move on to the next subject, and I've starred a comment because there is, and I have been starring questions. If I see question or at TOT, we'll get them done at the end of the show or once we're done talking about the talking points. But there was one I starred because I'm actually proud of my response in this one as well. Albert Gudmundsson, according to Ali Gold, he's a player Tottenham like. We're at the liking stage, everyone, so get ready. He's a player who can play centrally out and out wide. Spurs have got good links with Genoa, and as you can see, my response, fantastic. We're at the like stage, only a matter of months now till we monitor the situation. before I get your view on it, Johnny, something came through because I was told he'd been cleared of everything. But then I saw, from Ilmatic, Gudmundsson case has been reopened. He will have to reappear before the Icelandic tribal this autumn if found. So this may be off again if there's any weight to this. But before I get your view on it, Johnny, I am looking at it now. Now I know Gudmundsson is a player that we have liked and we are interested in. He has had a very, very good season for Genoa. He does look like he's a good player. He's had one good season, may I add, in Italy. He's 28 years old. I am already seeing this as if we can't get an Eze, there's a cheaper option there. I hope I'm reading this wrong, but we need homegrown, and I don't care how much we save. Eze is a million times more potential.
I mean, listen, you can't. He came from AZ Alkmaar, I think it was 22 or 23, for €1.5 million, right? Now they want 30 million. He scored 14 goals, 4 assists, I think it was, for Genoa. Do we really need anyone accused of rape and pillage? Not sure. Listen, stories are stories until they're facts. I don't pay any attention to them because someone else in the other side of London, the party boy, we heard lots of rumours, but nothing's happened with that. So I take it all with a pinch of salt. But, do I want to buy a one-season wonder? Not particularly. I mean, if he was bought by Genoa for $1.5 million in one season, how can it be worth 30? They want Jed Spence, who he rounds for about 8 million. So maybe typical Spurs, they might be looking to do a deal and a trade-off, depending on obviously these charges. But would I rather have Eze? I don't think, if we did a poll, it wouldn't even be worth putting it up because we know what the result would be. Is he a good player? Yes. But I think a very good player is someone that, does well over a period of time. Quite interesting, like Iceland beat England away from home and yet went to Holland and got smashed 4-0 last night.
Johnny, quick question for you. Lise wants to know if you can fit her in your suitcase. I don't think your wife will be best pleased if that was to happen. But yeah, sorry, you were saying. Listen, I know it's Tottenham lingo and Tottenham language, and obviously the ITKs and people like Ali that get their news, whatever. When you hear that, and I don't see it at any other club. I don't, and I do look at other transfers and everything, but I never hear so many buzzwords mentioned around this football club. If he was to come in because we've lost out on Eze, what do you reckon that says about? And it'll go back to how we spent the money on the thing we were talking about just a while ago. It'll be a good signing, as in he's shown he can do the job at Genoa. But again, it's not the quality we need, is it?
Look, I said last summer, Levy was running around looking for money. I believe he's still doing the same now. I said I don't think there's massive amounts of money available at the moment, but we've freed up a lot of money in wages. But ultimately, we owe £308 million in transfer fees currently.
Yep.
So, I know people look at the wages being paid and the fees being paid, but that money has to be repaid. That's after the Kane sale, I must hasten to add. So we probably do need to sell quite a lot of players to buy big. I can't see us. I don't see Daniel Levy dipping his hand into his own pocket. The only way I see us spending the money, Brian, is if someone comes in and buys a stake in this club before the close of the transfer window. It's the only way I can see us spending big money. Maybe loans with options. I can see a couple of those coming in.
Okay, I can give you a bit of an update. I can give you a bit of an update on Tanguy. It's not official. But apparently the rumour that is being spread now and is going across Twitter is the fee that we are paying him off is £5 million. It's not a bad day's work, is it? Golden handshake. There you go.
And then he can go and play for Wycombe Wanderers.
Yeah, mate, I've got a feeling he will end up in the MLS. I've got a bad... It best not be Toronto. But yeah, 5 million is where they're what is now being said.
Where's he going to get an endorsement from, Brian? He's anyone ringing up any of his clubs from Galatasaray to Spurs, to Lyon, to Napoli will all say the same thing. Unless you're paying him £1,000 a week, in our luck, he'll suddenly wake up on a free transfer, get himself fit this summer, and suddenly turn it on.
Yeah, this is where we're at. And someone just said, Rich, do you know what? I'll get the boys to have a look into this and maybe discuss this on Morning Brews, because
we spoke about this earlier, Brian.
Yeah, we spoke. No, but the percentages, because obviously we were, in the grand scheme of things, the lowest paid wages, obviously in the big six, but we could offer a lot more. Well, we have freed up a lot of space, haven't we?
Yeah, huge amounts. I mean, just last season, or this season with Perisic, Kane, Lloris, Dyer, just those, and Ndombele, they're huge amounts of money, huge wages, and many more.
Yeah, Tim Hortons may need a poster boy, but I will do a strong campaign. I'm known for my strong campaigns. If he was to come to Toronto, and probably would be for Timmy's, it'd be like Happy Gilmore with Subway. Yeah, we're looking at 5 million. Right, let's start doing some questions. We've got a few come in, so let's have a look. First of all, Brendan is talking to me. Brian, you love to give Levy advice. I don't give him any advice on how to run a business. Surely you would have big finance academic background. No, I don't. But I am a huge football fan and watch how other football teams operate and see what we've got and see what we've been promised and seeing that it's a pack of lies, Brendan. So I'm guaranteeing that you don't have a finance academic degree or anything. And I do love the fans that come here and say, is they're right if they want to talk about finances and whatever. But when we top lists in everything, when the money is being made available, when it talk of properties being built, things get done rather rapidly. Still waiting on naming rights. I could go on. And it's been 24 years of the same thing. I don't need to give Levy advice on how to run a business. I can base it off 24 years of what I've seen.
Can I balance that out, Brian?
You can try and balance it out, and I'll argue it.
No, I mean, listen, look, as far as I'm concerned, off the pitch, a genius.
No denying it.
On the pitch, on the pitch, to keep making the same mistakes over and over and over again is foolhardy. Refinancing our huge debt at 2.7% over 25 years was pure genius, because clubs around Europe now with massive debts are struggling to service that debt. He has done amazing things, but at the same time, on the flip side, fans are only interested in the end game. They want trophies. They want success. They're not interested in the finances. It's not their money. Yep. We want to go to the game, pay a fair price. Note the word fair.
Yep.
Right? Be treated fairly. Again, not that we are. And we want to win trophies and be competitive. And I don't think any of those things have been fulfilled. So from that point of view, he's been a failure. On the other part, he's been a success. But no one cares about the buildings. I'd rather be in White Hart Lane, personally, because I prefer that stadium, and go back to the old days. Yeah,
I mean, what I did have something to say, and I've completely forgotten what it was. But I've remembered. Brendan, if you do listen to anything I say, and you obviously do, or read my tweets, you'll also see that I don't just talk about my hatred for Levy being about on the pitch matters. I talk about the way he rips off fans and treats them with disgrace, and treats them not as supporters, not as customers, but as clients. I fight for and have my views.
Can't reference numbers, Brian.
To stand up with the fans that are treated horrifically with what they have to pay and the lack of engagement. And I also, and the most biggest thing about it, is how our history is not honoured, not respected, and basically doesn't care about it. So thanks, Brendan, for coming in and having a silly comment. Please like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and everything to come on and call me out, and I will just bring it back to you. I am going to bring up, there are questions, but Colin Cross, there you go, buddy. I'm happy Popeyes have made it to Cardiff. Kicks the arse out of KFC and everything. It is absolutely banging, and well done for having your first Popeyes. Good question from Colin here, and I agree. Would you consider Modric a Premiership legend, considering his best years was at Real Madrid? And I'll go now. I don't consider him a Premier League legend. If he had stayed at Tottenham for a long time or a Premier League team, 100%. But he is a legend of a footballer. He will go down as a Real Madrid legend. He will go down as a La Liga legend. I don't think he has that. Credibility to be a Premier League legend. Jonny, your thoughts?
It's quite interesting because when he arrived, many fans referred to him as a little rat who won't last 5 minutes in the Premier League. A bit like Brian Gill, funny enough. He didn't look like he had the physicality, and yet he delivered. I remember sitting in the stands saying, what a player he is, what a player he is. If only he had some power in that shot to score a goal. And literally, as I said it, Brian, as I said it, ball came across in the right-hand side and he connected one, bang, straight in the top corner.
Oh, he was magnificent.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, he was a fantastic footballer. And for someone so slight, his control is a bit like Bernardo Silva, David Silva.
Very much.
You know, that sort of player who, despite being slight, had incredible ability. That's why I was willing to give Brian Gill time, but unfortunately, that's not going to happen because he couldn't hold a candle to those players.
No, not at all. I mean, Luka Modric, I must admit, when we first saw him, I remember watching him in the pre-season friendlies on his first season we signed him, and he was outstanding. The one thing I loved about Luka is obviously when he didn't get his move to Chelsea, obviously there was a gentleman's agreement that was honoured, but you saw at that time, and still do to this time, players throw their toys out the pram and do anything to try and get out of the club and make a move. The first part of that season, when Modric got his last season at Spurs, he was untouchable. He was a total professional. Near the end of the season, he tailed off. But at the start of the season, he was absolutely outstanding.
You don't go to Real Madrid. You don't go to Real Madrid unless you've shown.
Well, he started off poorly at Real, didn't he? He started off poorly, and then fans were getting on his back to begin with. But my God, what a legend! And he signed for another year, I believe. Ray the Yid, my man. What do you think is the max we drop on a striker, and thoughts on Eze links to Liverpool? Jonny, you can go first on this.
I think there's a lot of competition at Liverpool. I would not think he would want to swap getting guaranteed minutes for a place on the bench, potentially, unless Salah is going and Diaz is going. If you're telling me that, then maybe it'd be a different thing. But I think he's a London boy. He's very close with his parents. I don't see that. I see him. If I saw him going anywhere up north, I think it'd be Man City. I think he's all over a Man City player. And what's the maximum we would drop on a striker? I would say 40, 50 million plus add-ons, or a loan with a right to buy, that sort of thing. Or you know, a lot nowadays, you got to remember, with money being tight across the whole of Europe, a 50 million or a 60 million pound deal is not 60 million paid up front. It will be paid up over the term of his contract over 5 years. So it could be like 20 million up front and then the rest staggered over the 5 years. Hence the reason why Spurs currently owe 308 million. That's going back quite a long way over the last 5 years. Maybe some of the players that have already gone. So that was my thought.
Okay, so thoughts on Eze to Liverpool terrifies me. I know he says he wants London. Listen, Liverpool is like, what, 3-4 hour drive, Champions League football. If they slap down the money, like I used to say, like I said with Diaz who went to Liverpool, I understand that Liverpool wanted him on the bench we were in, but I thought at the time, if it was true that we were going for him, get Diaz on the plane, show him the stadium, show him the training ground, let him talk to Conte. Maybe Conte can change his mind and show him what we've got. But obviously, we all know how that materialised. If Liverpool come in and they say, yep, go and speak to Liverpool, and Arne Slot goes, here's the training ground, here's this Champions, I worry. But I do think we get him. I hope we get him.
Brian, do you think you can even compare Diaz and Brendan Johnson?
No, they're in a different league.
No, I'm just saying, we were going for Diaz.
Yeah.
We didn't get him because, the lure of Liverpool.
Yeah.
Who did we get in who is on that level? No disrespect to Brendan. I hope this season he has an incredible season and he goes on to, really smash it. Yeah. But right now, I'm not quite seeing anywhere near that level.
There we go. Right, we'll go through. We've got Johnny's got to go at 7 o'clock your time, so we'll get through these questions. Daniela, bless you, Daniela. I haven't seen you for a bit. Always a pleasure to see you. It's the same with Eze. So yeah, basically, let's just have a quick yes or no. Does Eze play for Spurs next season?
I'm gonna go yes, even though right now it's not looking likely. I'm gonna go yes. I'm gonna be positive. I'll tell you one thing. If he does sign, I think this will be like in comparison to us signing Maddison. Maddison will be nothing in comparison to us signing Eze. I've never known a fan base so united in signing one player as we are over him.
That's a good point, actually. I can't remember the last one.
I can't remember. So, Daniela, if we signed him, I think euphoria would be sweeping through the Twitter. And for once, toxicity might be wiped out in favour of everyone being happy for a week or a day.
Yeah, I think we get it done. I just think it's not going to be as easy as we think, and there'll be twists and turns, and we'll eventually get it done. No, I hope Brendan is still in the chat because this is another thing when I say wiped up history. We were told the gates, and Paddy, who I know is in the chat, said they are trying to do it. This is the council, blah, 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 and where they put it. But we've been told this for a very, very long time. This is the thing I don't get with Spurs. They announce that they're going to do it, so it gets the fans going, woohoo, woohoo, wicked, look, they're doing this. But they haven't got planning permission. Why don't you just wait till you've got the planning permission from the council and say, right, plans have been approved, the gates are coming back. Also, the Spurs Museum that we were promised in the building next to the shop that can't be destroyed. That was
2010. 2010.
Yeah, that's
so. Say, Brian? Yeah, I'm just going to say, Brian, that amazing. You can get a giant 63,000 stadium. You can get a shop. You can get a
hotel.
Lily White House. You can get a hotel. But asking for a gates and a statue, are you joking? You're pushing the boat out, right? I'm sorry. We're going to have to refuse it. I don't believe a word of it. I don't believe that should have been an all-encompassing planning permission where we hang on, if we got such a great relationship with the council and we're providing jobs, and if you go to the stadium, you'll see in the security and going through, a lot of the people there working at the stadium live in the area, which is fantastic, right? Gives them jobs. I'm all for it. So if we're giving them jobs and we're helping the council, why is it that we can't get a gate and a statue? Why is it that Arsenal and the Islington Council managed to get 8 and we can't get 1? Right? They're iconic. They're part of the history. They're part of the heritage of Tottenham High Road. They're where I was as a kid. I used to stand by those gates looking at the Tottenham Hotspur sign in the West Stand, wishing, one day I hope I can go through that entrance.
Yeah.
But I used to go through in the shelf. And, I think it's BS, absolute BS.
Yeah.
No reason.
I think you've got a point and Paddy's got a point, but it's like when they did the stadium and he said it'll be done in 1 year. You should have said 2 years, and if it was done in 1 year, you're a hero. But it worked either or. Ray asking how many views tonight, another big show. Thanks, Ray, for your constant support. Currently, there are 317 people of you in here, and thank you so much for joining us and enjoying Evening Brews.
Just add, Brian, just quickly, guys, we need the likes to help the algorithm for the channel to grow the channel. No likey, no talky. Yeah. So if you could hit the like button, it's just the thumb button. It's very painless. If you hit that, it helps us. Even if you hated us today, give it a like, even now or on your way out. Very much appreciate it. And all comments welcome. And
again, I'll say it again, I love this chat. 320 people in here, and it's all respect and interaction with each other and us. And one of the things we pride ourselves is our chat is very, very civil towards each other, which is honestly really, really refreshing to see. So thank you for your continuous support and civilness, if that's even a word. Mickey, who I speak to, he was mentioned the other day, Chiesa. It looks like Juve are prepared to sell. Now, Chiesa, I'd love at Spurs, but I can't see where we get him in. Don't get me wrong, he automatically makes Spurs a better team, and I think would do very, very well, but I just can't see us getting this over the line. What about you, Johnny?
Fabio loan.
I forgot about Paratici. You never know. I mean, but could you, like we were saying yes or no to Eze, obviously, I think we both agree, yes, he'd be brilliant at Spurs and improve Spurs dramatically. Do you think come September the 1st or whatever the deadline is, Chiesa is wearing a Tottenham Hotspur shirt?
Listen, I can't see it, but if anyone was to pull it off, it'd be Fabio on a loan. He's beavering away on that phone of his somewhere in the darkest depths. Fabio is cooking something, you know. So, you know, let's wait and see. I think, listen, right now, this is a calm before the storm. It's very, very quiet. I did think, although the window doesn't open till Friday, I did think that, you know, some June 14th deals would be potentially announced. I'm wondering whether some deals have been done prior to players going off to the Euros or off to the Copa America. One thing I've got to say, I think we've only got one player. Has the club gone backwards? We've only got one player starting in the Euros, and we got 2 players starting in the Copa America. That's 3 players starting in the 2 biggest competitions in football right now, which I think is a bit disappointing. I've got to be honest with you. Only Radu Dragusin is starting for Romania, and then obviously Bentancur and Romero. Oh, sorry, and I made a mistake. We got 2 for Argentina, so we got 4 It's
Tell you
still
what, Johnny,
quite low.
we've got 4 questions to get through, and you're on a time period, so we'll go through it. But first of all, we are at 78 likes, and I don't normally say, can we smash all that? If we can get it over 100, guys, it would mean absolutely everything. And Carl, Gwyn, Rich, and Colin, thank you for your great comments about the channel. I really, really do. We really, really do appreciate it. So let's get through these 4. First one from Paddy. Question for ye. I tried to say that with my Irish accent, but I don't want to be out of order to Paddy. So what would you deem as a good window, be realistic?
Okay. A 6, backup striker, backup left back, left winger, and another goalkeeper. I would say 4 or 5 key positions. Yeah,
I'm kind of with you. I'm going to give a couple of players that I think have to be mentioned, and I obviously Eze is there right away, and I'm really liking. I'm growing stronger and stronger on this guy. I really want that defender from Stuttgart. It's a great price. I think he offers a lot, and then like I said, I think we need to up our midfield and a striker. So I'm with you on that. Yeah. Lee Music, who I've always seen on Dan's and Alan's channel, and it's great to see him here. Big up, Lee. I hope you're good. Do you think Ange will last the season? The system, the illogical decisions, the poor coaching, the way we ended, I'm not feeling it right now. So do you think Ange lasts the season, basically?
Christmas.
You're going Christmas?
Listen, I'd like to revisit it at the end of August when I see our squad, what we close with. But I think he's got to make tweaks. If I saw the first 3 games, he's made some minor tweaks to plan A, then I think he's got a chance. But look, there's lots of pluses and minuses. Would I want him to succeed and last the season? Hell yeah. I'd like him to stay for 5 years, win trophies. I'm not, at this moment, I'm 50-50.
Okay, with me, I hope he lasts the season. I hope. I'll tell you what, Lee, come back and ask me that question on September the 1st. And then we'll have a... Yeah. I want him to see out his contract and more. I want Spurs to, whether it's another season of not achieving top 4 and winning a cup, I stand by. I think the only way we're going to get this monkey off our back with trophies is committing to a manager and giving him some time. And I hope he gets the time. But ask me that on September the 1st. And 2 great questions to end with. Ray the Yid. I hadn't thought of this until someone mentioned it to me today. I think this would be a great idea. I think some of our youth or fringe players that may need to be assessed and get some minutes and earn their stripes, because obviously the link with Davies going there, I think it could be a very, very smart move going. They're in League One. I don't think any of the youngsters, we were saying yesterday, Johnny, are ready for the Championship.
Yeah.
Could you see that there's obviously a link there, like we're saying Chiesa, Paratici, whatever. That could be a stroke of genius. What do you reckon, Johnny?
No, I can see maybe a couple of loans going there. I'd like to see Veliz go there, if I'm brutally honest.
As far as League One?
Well, look, of the youngsters, I just want to see the right loans going. Yeah. Veliz going out, he's 6'2", played like 60 odd games in the Argentinian league, used to being knocked the crap out of, right? I'm sure he can handle it. Then we send him off to Seville and sit on the bench. So I thought Championship. But yeah, maybe Alfie Devine. I still think he's League One. He struggled a bit in the Championship when he went to Plymouth. I can see potentially, I can see a couple of players going. Maybe a Donnelly.
I think it could be a good place for them to go. Obviously, Davies will hopefully play of the same kind of ilk, attacking football at least. And the final question, because you got a rush and we've got a minute to do it, is now I'm going to go quickly on this one. Thoughts on Sancho. Now, what I will say with Sancho, he did very, very well at Bayern. Borussia Dortmund. I get 40 million, I get youngsters, and I can get why people want him. But the bit that I fail to understand, and this just shows me, not you, Testy, but Spurs fans in general, when Harry Kane leaves to go to Bayern Munich, it's a farmers' league and an easy league, and he's only going there to win trophies. He should have stayed and tried to do it. Yet, in the same sense, Spurs fans are now wanting Sancho because of his 2 good spells at the Farmers League. So apparently it's only a Farmers League if you're selling, but if you're bringing players in, now I think this guy has a lot of talent. I think Sancho has a lot of talent. Discipline and attitude has been called into question, but I don't get why people, and I'm not saying this at you, Tessie, I mean in general, that it's Farmers League if we sell to them, but if we buy to them, bring him in because he had a great time at Dortmund. That's the only sticking point I have with Sancho, that he's only done it at Germany. That's the bit I don't. That's the bit I don't understand. I mean, where do you lie with Sancho, Johnny?
Well, he used to live in the same block as Sessegnon and Dombele, the Willocks, Jadon Sancho. They all lived together. And let's just say, let's just say they like to party. I don't know about his attitude, to be honest with you. I look at him as the Marcus Edwards type of character, personally, and so therefore I don't think. Ange says that he's very much about the content of a player's character, not just their football level. So no, I can't see it. Would I like to see him there at Spurs? Yeah, I mean, he'd offer more than what we've got.
There you go. Right, we'll wrap up there. But I just want to say, Greg, I thought the Edmonton Oilers won on Saturday, so it was 2-1. Either way, it doesn't concern me. I just want Edmonton to win because of it being Canadian. And obviously it's your team, Greg, and you and me spend some time at the Scotland Yard, sir. I can't lose. Either one of my friends win or the country I live in win. Right, guys, just before we go, just to let you know, first of all, Johnny, where can people find you?
Johnny H3232, give me a follow here. And then if you get a chance, if you've got an Instagram, give me a follow there. The link is in my bio on my Twitter. And obviously, see you here tomorrow night when we'll no doubt discuss Ndombele.
to see who we like to, or see who we are observing, or whatever it may be. Daniela, very quickly, Daniela, I would imagine Italy will absolutely whomp that. But what I will say to all you Tottenham on Tour fans and fans, subscribers, watchers, viewers, you're going to get another treat. There's going to be 3 Tottenham on Tour shows today. You've had Morning Brews with Dave and Ben. You've had Evening Brews with me and Johnny. And at 9 p.m. UK time this evening, myself and Ben are going to be doing a show that Ryan Isaacs wanted to do, where we're going to have a talk about the Euros. We're going to go through all the groups, think about the best games and who we think is going to get through, talk about who we think the best players, the favourites are. So we're going to have some nice light-hearted Euro talk because we've got a major tournament coming up and it will stop us talking Spurs. But knowing our luck, Tanguy and Dembele will be released bang smack in the middle of it. And it will become a...
I'm looking forward to seeing Yamin Yamal.
I thought you were being funny there. I thought that was a fake name. I thought you were going to say something else there.
In your mouth.
But yes. So, Colin, of course you can join, mate. I know Wales aren't there, but you're always more than welcome to join and have your say. So if anyone wants to join us for Euro Talks, that will be 9 p.m. UK time. All I will say is, once again, over 300 people in the chat. Paddy, feel free to come and join us. Hit
that like, guys.
Yeah, please hit the like and subscribe button, guys. We'll be back at 9 o'clock. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and as always, Levy out.
Come on, you Spurs.